Hi, I'm Venk,
And I'm Jaya.
and this is the Reality Hate episode 24. So, Jaya, we had one episode of New York, which was
Nothing, not too much happens.
not too much happens.
Enough. Ramona reveals a little more of herself and makes us all a little bit uncomfortable.
Like before we start, I just need our fans to know. Like we've been asking for quite some time, and there's something we need to tell you. Something really important.
Yeah.
We here at Reality Hate F pour our hearts and souls into creating content that should be loved and adored and cared about.
Yeah.
On a spiritual level. So I need you to do me one favor.
One.
I need you to like this video and smash that subscribe button. I hope that
do it.
Receive the message. Receive the message.
Please.
Also free Britney.
So before we get started, I just have to say, I'm getting very annoyed by the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I love you, but what's driving me a little bonkers is Erica, which I mean, they can't control because Hulu came out with The Housewife and the Hustler and revealed all the goods. And so now when I'm watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I'm watching Erica basically go on a hate campaign for Tom, paint herself, go from housewife to housewife to housewife to housewife to housewife, paint herself as the victim to the housewives and to America. And we know that that is absolutely not the case.
And that's the thing. It's like, okay, it's like, you know, the movie Sixth Sense or any of M. Night Shyamalan. It's like telling you, oh, Bruce Willis was dead the whole time. And then you go in and watch Sixth Sense and you're like, thank you. Because now it's boring.
Exactly. We know the ending. I'm a little disappointed, but it's fine because it's interesting to see her do this, right? But it's painful to watch.
Yeah, it's painful to watch. It's interesting to see, but that totally does actually make sense.
Right. Anywho, let's get into a recap. Recap. So we open on the lovely Erica, our ex-best friend. Sutton brings Erica a divorce kit, and Erica is driving in Sutton's brand new fancy car, the Bentley convertible, and good for Sutton. She got it with her own money.
With her own alimony that
wasn't taken from orphans or burn victims.
She stayed married until he divorced her.
And basically Erica, as I said before, is painting Tom as the villain and that he's a really tough lawyer and he's not going to roll over and give her any money, and he's angry. And I mean, it's painful. Again, sister, please stop lying. He doesn't have any money to give you. It's all gone. I don't know what you're fighting for. Your clothing that you're probably going to have to give back, or the stolen couch that you took from his house that you probably have to give back. So we start with that, and then we see them at a spa where Sutton's giving this divorce kit to Erica to get through it because she's having a really hard time. And it's a very generous divorce kit. Did you see that? It was very generous. It had a bottle of champagne, munchies, all the like lovely things. So then we see them going to the spa and they're getting cryotherapy. Again, Erica, with what money are you getting that therapy done? I'm so confused. You don't have any. Maybe it's the housewives' money, or maybe it's Erica Jane's money. Maybe it's the 20 million she moved into her account.
Have you ever done a cryotherapy thing?
No, I've been curious. No, I've never done it. So do you think that if I, like, in the wintertime in Chicago, which is where I am, I'm visiting my hometown. I'm in Chicago, well, to be exact, area in Illinois. So do you think that, like, when I come here at Christmas time, if I just go out in my underwear or like in a bikini, it's the same? So I'll just go stand there for a minute. I'll count down and I'll let you know if it helps. I'll let you know.
I'm sorry. It just seems like that's not how, but then, I used to get colonic therapy, and like, that's not good for you. And I told my parents, and of course my mother.
Oh my God. Yeah. They would be horrified.
What are you doing? And I'm like, I got a Groupon.
Wait, can I tell you a side story? So I have a friend, my friend Ethan, who we love and adore. He does Where Are You Now, right? Ethan McCare. The last one is next Saturday. And he used to do a show called Doing It with Ethan. Mm-hmm. And he would do one thing in the beginning and then another in the end where he'd interview different people. So I used to help him occasionally, like hold the boom or do whatever I needed to do. So one episode he did, the first part of the episode, he participated in a hot dog eating contest. And then the second part of the episode was him getting a colonic, and he interviewed the woman giving him the colonic while he was getting the colonic. And I held the boom for it. I was like,
every time they'd be like, don't you want to see? And I'm like, absolutely not. Going back to the cryotherapy. I don't know if any of these things work. And now, having said all of this, I am not going to tell you that I'm the picture of health, because that would be like Erica Jane saying she doesn't know anything about what we're up to. Allegedly.
So that happens, right? Then we go to Crystal, where she's working out, and she basically reveals her relationship with her daughter. It's a sweet relationship. She's, with her kids, and she's kickboxing or boxing. And she says in this, she's foreshadowing a little bit, we see the end, what happens at the end of the episode, that she, doesn't like to fight, but she defends herself when she knows she's right. She doesn't back down. And we know she's not backing down by the end of the episode. So then we get to Garcelle, who has a quick conversation with her children about possibly getting remarried. And they're not into it.
Garcelle deserves love. Let your mother have some fun.
Here's the thing. I don't think it stops her, because later on in the episode, we find out that she's dating 3 men from Bumble, right? So
why isn't she on Raya?
I don't know, but I thought it was funny that she met them on Bumble, of all things. I don't know. Don't you think Raya sounds a little douchey?
I mean, I would love to be on Raya, but not even with true recommendations did they even put me on a waiting list. It was a straight to rejection. Straight to
denied.
That was before I became Vank Modor celebrity stylist.
Wait, so Vank Modor celebrity stylist worth 19 million. Look it up.
I yesterday, sometimes I like to Google myself after.
Oh, really?
After I Googled myself. So I was Googling myself, and I was like, wait a minute. And it goes, Vank Modor's net worth $19 million. And I'm like, could somebody tell my bank that? Because I would love to move to Montecito. Like, I guarantee, but it would be $1 million shanty. I think a townhouse in Montecito. I couldn't, but it'd be that much closer to Meghan and Harry.
Maybe you could get in there. If you're worth 19 million, why couldn't you live in there?
That's what the internet says.
Private subdivision.
I mean, that's what the internet says, and the internet never lies.
The internet is right. So you are worth 19 million. I believe you.
you so much.
Like Bitcoin.
I
You're worth 19 million in internet money. So then we move on to Erica making the rounds with Lisa Rinna. I mean, she is like, you know, first it's Sutton, then it's Lisa Rinna, then it's, you know, she's just making her rounds. So here she is making the rounds with Lisa Rinna. And apparently Erica had also, in that conversation, Erica had also gotten together with Garcelle before that, because she was also, you know, needing to villainize Tom and save herself. And she said that Garcelle told her that a waiter or a hostess or a manager of a restaurant or something told Garcelle that they had seen Tom with a female, a young blonde female, out to eat. And Erica just kind of like shrugged and didn't really respond. And she said, well, supposedly I've been linked to this person, and this person. I mean, you know, whatever. If I cared, I would sue. You would? You'd sue? Because you don't have any money. Everyone's suing you.
He already said a prenuptial agreement would not be worth anything against her husband because of the fact that he is a mega lawyer. And so wouldn't that be counterintuitive if she's like, if he was doing this, I'd sue? Like, I thought these were smart people.
I did too, but clearly not. I mean, darting eyes, liar, 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 pants on fire. So then we also find out that Lisa Rinna's daughter, Amelia, is linked to barf, throw up everywhere, shooting.
I mean, Disick.
Scott Disick. He is disgusting. I mean, like, what is, I can't even like wrap my head around it. Well, whatever. I don't know.
Non-starter. He's a 40-year-old dating a 20-year-old.
That's like, what I have here in my notes. I guess he likes young girls.
I get it if the person was 30 dating a 50-year-old. That makes more sense. But 20 is still like kind of young. Like, you know, 4 years ago, they were 16.
It's like, of all people, that's what you aim for? Scott Disick? Okay.
I mean, and Amelia is kind of, she's pretty.
Yes. I don't get it. Well, it doesn't seem like Lisa Rinna is very excited about it.
I wouldn't be either.
The further we get in the episode, Lisa Rinna says to everyone, when I meet Scott Disick, do I refer to him as Lord? They go Christmas shopping for Erica's new tiny little house. Tiny little adorable house where she doesn't have any Christmas things. But she says, the truth is, I probably could have taken things, you know, but I didn't. No, you probably couldn't have taken things because your husband's in forced bankruptcy and everything is being taken from him. So you couldn't take your glamorous Christmas items.
Those are the facts.
So anyway, they do that. So then we get to Kyle's house, and Kyle's daughter Portia is there and her kids are home, and the one daughter surprises Sophia. And then what is the other daughter's name?
I mean, they're one of the other daughters.
One of the many children. Surprises Sophia, the youngest daughter, that she's home from college, which we saw the drop off and how sad she was. And they have a sweet relationship and it's very nice. That's it. Then we move on. And then we move on to Dorit receiving a giant portrait of herself. I had flashbacks of the New Jersey housewives and the memorial for the Giudice family, or the Gorga family, receiving portraits.
And I have a flashback to my high school. When I went to high school, I had my you know,
portraits of yourself on the wall.
There were like 5 or 6 portraits. Like they would make one big portrait, but it was all just pictures of me.
Wait, you and the housewives love portraits of themselves.
The thing is, like, nobody thought to say like, and I went by Venky at the time. Nobody thought to be like Venky. That's like really embarrassing. Like, I was so vain.
But maybe they thought that's how your parents decorated it.
Oh, I decorated my own place.
But maybe they thought that your parents had something to do with it.
Ethan Allen furniture. Very, very. It was very fancy for Indiana. Ethan Allen.
So, yeah, we see Dorit, and she's like, it might be a little narcissistic, but I love it. No, Dorit, it's narcissistic.
Listen, it is narcissistic, and I know from experience. Only I was a child.
And then we cut to Crystal getting ready for Kyle's party, and she doesn't dress herself because she never dressed herself well because she's a tomboy, so she doesn't really care. But luckily, she has a stylist because of her husband who does it all for her.
Oh, it's nice to have a stylist. And and sometimes stylist gives discounts if you if you purchase multiple looks, some people give discounts.
Oh, really, Vank?
Yeah.
Mode stylist.
Celebrity stylist.
Because then we move into everyone arriving at the party, and the first person that arrives is Dorit, dressed in head to toe Louis Vuitton again.
Wait a minute. You know what? I gotta just say, sometimes in life, you hold on. I think my phone's ringing. Hold on for a second. I just have to
your phone was ringing. That's a big phone case.
I mean, yeah, it's my phone case.
Oh.
But I don't believe that people should be carrying around such big labeled clothing. By the way, that was a gift from a dear friend, and you should look up La Fiore. It's the most fabulous, elegant clothing on earth. It was a gift, which now that I have it,
he will never make fun of Dorit again.
Yeah, I would be a hypocrite.
So then, okay, we have small talk that happens, blah, blah, blah. But let's get to the real thing, which is the Crystal situation keeps coming up, right?
Now,
Kathy Hilton brings it up. Also, by the way, Kathy Hilton thinks Mazel Tov means Merry Christmas.
I gotta say, there's nothing that woman could do to make me ever dislike her.
I was not angry. And I saw Dorit be like, no, Kathy, it does not mean Merry Christmas.
I just like her voice. I'm Catholic.
I love her voice. She calls Sutton a Thomasina, a peeping Tom. So she brings it up jokingly because she is funny. She's very funny. and Sutton is basically says, I have to tell you, I'm really frustrated. I'm frustrated that you use the word violated. Then Crystal feels the need, here's Crystal not backing down, to give everyone the definition of violated. And it goes on, and no one is siding with Crystal.
This is now not about her Crystal's issue about that. This is Crystal's issue of wanting to be right. And know people like that. And I certainly know and related to people. Just kidding. I like that sometimes. But
it's getting stale. Crystal, you were not right.
He wants to fight to be right. And it's but nobody's dismissing that you felt a certain way. However,
it was the wrong word.
However, you know that this person feels so bad about this, and why don't you give some grace?
And she would say then she finally said, I know that she didn't mean anything when she was doing it. I know that she wasn't doing it maliciously. I know that she wasn't trying to be creepy when she brought it in. And then before this happens, Dorit, the one and only time I will probably ever, Dorit, agree with you, was Dorit says, I'm so tired of this. Why can't we just move on? I'm so over it,
like, oh, Dorit, of all
And I
people.
was like, oh, Dorit, I actually agree with you this time. So then Crystal says, you know, I don't think that you were being weird. I don't think this, but I did feel violated. And she said, Dorit, isn't that what I said? And Dorit goes, no, actually, Crystal, that's not at all what you said. You felt that she was being creepy and that she was. So it just keeps going on. And Crystal honestly played a game of telephone that went wrong. She thought she was going to get away with it and she didn't.
And that's kind of where it ends. Crystal will not let up, and there we go. And
Exactly.
But the preview for the next episode was one of the best clips from the trailer. It's like, what am I jealous of? Your ugly pants.
Your ugly leather pants. So now we're gonna, I think we should fly through New York, because, you know, stuff happens, but not a ton of stuff happens. So they didn't give us a ton this week.
No, and I think the main thing is
it was Ebony's show this week, and it was interesting.
I mean, like that dinner was like, I was like, these are not the women.
You want to know something? So we open on that, right? We open on Harlem Nights Party, and it's being held in at one of the few speakeasies left in Harlem. You know, when I was looking at Ebony planning this party and like what she had done and all the details she put into it, I was like, how cool. This is a party I would like to attend.
Yes.
But not Ramona, not Luann.
Ramona and Luann are not ready for critical race theory, okay?
Luann is like, where's my Fosé? Ramona's like, bring my Pinot. Where's the party? They want nothing to do with any sort of learning and like opening of the mind. She went seat to seat, person to person, and basically like gave them an oral history of whatever iconic person they were.
I mean, these people are just, I mean, Ramona has the attention span of a Cocker Spaniel.
Yes.
Beyond that, Ramona voted for Trump. Like,
exactly.
Like, I love Ebony. She is just, I feel like
it's a hill not worth climbing. Like, it is just, I mean, we got there and like no one, you know, they made a cool cocktail and like they sat down and she gave everyone, you know, every single person was someone else. And there was a very specific reason why, but nobody wanted to listen to the history. Everybody was waiting for the party to start. Ramona suddenly got vertigo and showed everyone her vertigo. How you do that, I don't understand, but cool.
Let me show you my vertigo.
Show me.
You know, and then the friend of Ramona's that comes is like basically
Rashawn. Well, first of all, also there were a few things that happened before. So Ramona makes a comment that like, I've never been to Harlem. You know, I've only been to RHO's, and I stay in everybody stays in their region. Nobody goes, you know, wherever. And so we see that.
We all go everywhere.
Right. And then we see Luann saying like, oh no, I'm very familiar with Harlem. Of course she is. She's familiar with everything. She spent so much time in Harlem, right? She knows Harlem. It's very, you know, whatever. And then
Luann knows everything about everything. I can't take it.
Everything. She is a Renaissance woman. And so that she's Leonardo da Vinci.
Leonardo da Vinci.
Then we meet Rashawn, who is Ramona's new black friend, who she also makes the comment about like, oh, I love you, Ramona. Remember when you told me my eyelashes were too long for daytime? And I mean, you know, offensive Ramona, the authority on makeup.
That says a lot about like, but did this woman give you Candace Owen vibes?
This woman is an all lives matter. Yes. 100%. I mean, like, she undermines, then she sits down at the party where she is discussing all of this, and she's basically like, we're all the same. And Ebony's like, we're not the same.
I mean, and so I don't like this woman. I do not co-sign on that. And she is in the sunken place.
Agreed. Agreed. So, you know, they have this party. Oh, and also at the party, a few things happen. They're taking a photo and Ramona has to call out the fact that there's white ladies on one side and the two black women on the other. And also, I can't get over Brashan and All Lives Matter and undermining the entire party, the entire point of the dinner. Then she goes over to Ramona's house after the elections and she goes over for a drink, you know, and they're gonna hang out, and she brings up not politics, just politics aside, we don't have to discuss, but how wonderful is it that a female is going to be the vice president of the United States? But Ramona loses it.
But this is the thing about Trump Republican women, you know, the 55% of those women that voted for Trump, they would rather vote for, they don't look at, like, they hate themselves. That's what I'm trying to do. You hate you as women. If you voted for Trump, on some level, you hate yourself. Like, if you're a woman and you voted for, if you're a gay man and you voted for Trump, you somehow hate yourself. If you're a human and you voted for Trump, you hate yourself. Like, nobody I've met that has voted for Trump, it really likes themselves. They're angry all the time. They're not very attractive. They have no style. Anyway, I mean, sorry for that political rant.
No, but it's the truth.
It's true.
And this is the thing, is like, then Ramona sort of freaks out and she's like, you're preaching and you're teaching at me and I can't take it and this and this and that. And it's like, actually, Ramona, you could learn a thing or two. There you have it. There you have it. So then we move on to Luann with her daughter, and her daughter is sober now as well. And we see their relationship. It was very sweet. I did spot a Louis Vuitton dog in there.
I kiss so much Louis Vuitton.
And the one takeaway that I really thought was, you know, they were hugging and kind of talking about everything that went on in their relationship. And you know, Luann was crying and sort of feeling bad about everything that had transpired when she was drinking. And she said, you know, Victoria said, I just always wanted you to acknowledge the insanity and say that you're sorry.
Victoria, you know what? Victoria is one bright young woman.
Agreed. And she did. And finally, Luann has. And
can I just say, like, as much as I've, you know, had issues with Luann, like, this scene made me, like, you know, then, you know, when you realize you, like Sutton, for example, when you realize you have a soft spot because you've known this person, you've watched this person, we don't know her, but we've watched her. That was like, oh, that's the Luann that I want to see succeed.
Right.
And I do want to see Luann succeed.
I do too.
Yeah, and I don't even want, and I want to see Ramona succeed. I would just want her to not be
Ramona is unteachable. She feels like it's never gonna happen.
Never.
No.
Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it.
She's gonna, you know, sell her Ramona Pinot. And what was her jewelry? Oh my God. Remember she had the necklace on with the butterfly, and it's me and it's Avery, the butterfly. I realized I haven't been wearing my butterfly necklace. It's me and it's Avery. What was that line of jewelry that she made?
Oh gosh.
If anyone remembers, you could
email us. So
after that, because we went from Ramona to Luann, back to Ramona. Then we finish with Leah and her daughter and the high school consultant. And that's it. I don't feel like there's that much to talk about there, right?
Yeah, I was not excited about this episode. And I don't even, okay, we'll see what the next episode brings.
We'll see what the next episode brings, right?
Yeah,
that is what we will do.
That's what we'll do. Hey guys, we usually have taglines. Taglines. You just have some taglines. And you know what? I got to get my friends on getting me some taglines here. Bring us your taglines.
That's your taglines.
Taglines. And so what you have to do is you have to email us at realityhatef@gmail.com. That's REALITYHATEF@gmail.com. I also need you to follow us on TikTok. We are at 595 followers on TikTok. We are at 43 followers on YouTube.
Wait, not 44?
We lost one. And with all the things I said about white fragility today, in this episode, we might lose some more.
Someone broke up with us?
That doesn't matter because listen, you gotta follow us there. You also have to follow us on Instagram. I would call us the Judge Judy of reality television. We keep it real.
Keeping it real!
But at the end of the day, we are inspiring multitudes of children to sit at their home, buy a ring light, and talk to their friend via Zoom about important information.
Yeah.
On that, I'm Vic.
And I'm Jaya.
Bye.
Bye.
Woohoo!
Okay, start.
Blackwater. We like it.
So good.
Quenches that thirst.
So good.